And thank you, Candace. Thank you. Hopefully, I will be talking about some things that are beneficial to you so that you all aren't taking out of time out of your day for nothing. So again, I'm Elizabeth Clay. I'm currently a reading intervention teacher for grades 3 through 5 at Pittner Elementary. I love utilizing technology in the classroom, so that is why I decided to get my master's degree in it. So I am in my final semester. I am completing practicum, and one of those things that I needed to complete was doing a professional development with either teachers or district level staff, such as yourselves. So I sent out a forms that I had quite a few of you answer earlier on, and I had some conversations with Candace. And something that we talked about was, you know, Office 365 is the backbone of our day-to-day activities, but how can we use it in a way that can increase creativity and collaboration with our students in the classroom? So that's what we are going to be talking about today. All right, just to talk about a couple of our goals. So the first goal is to teach educators about incorporating Office 365 products into our instructional practices. Again, kind of getting away from I use Office 365 for creating Word documents. I use it for my email, and really honing in on those creativity and collaborative assignments. And then our second goal for today is to train educators, such as yourselves, about utilizing Office 365 in a way that promotes creativity, productivity, critical thinking, and collaboration amongst students. So I see that you all are very, very familiar with utilizing it yourselves. How are we feeling just by kind of maybe a thumbs up, thumbs to the side, or a thumbs down? What are you thinking as far as using it for student collaboration and creation? Are you all using that in those types of ways? Okay, awesome. Well, hopefully, I'll teach you something new today. So, the first thing I was just going to go over are some how to steps for those of us who might not know how to create a class notebook in Teams. Today, you will not be creating one. We'll be working out of my one notebook that I've added most of you all to. All right, so to create a class notebook, of course, you just go in and you create a new class team. It does have to be a class one. You can create your class name and description. The description is optional. Going from there on the left-hand side, you are going to access the class notebook to click on it and get it set up. From there, you can choose the sections that you want your students to have in their class notebooks. I did go ahead and just use the already generated handouts, quizzes, notes. I went ahead and used the ones that are already generated for you all today. All right. And then going from there, you can access student notebooks, the content library, the collaboration space, and of course, your teacher only materials. I'm not going to be talking about that too much today. We're going to be focusing on the content library and the collaboration space. All right. And then, of course, there are many ways that you can access OneNote. I do, and you guys can all nod your head if you agree. I like to have it as a component in Teams, but once I open the OneNote in Teams, I do prefer to open it up in the internet. Do we all feel the same way? I've noticed that kind of with signing in, you aren't able to populate all of your embedded products. Something goes weird there. So I do prefer to click the globe up in the top right-hand corner. So let me go ahead and share that with you so that you all can take the time to do that as well. And then we'll come back to the presentation. So I'm going to switch over to Teams. And I was working to get some friends added right away. All right, so if you are in your Teams OneNote, if you all could access that on your individual devices, and you might not have Teams pulled up, so I'll give you all a second to do so. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click this globe up here. When you click the globe, it's go to the website, which means that it's going to populate in your internet. And from there, you'll see all of your OneNotes if you do have other ones, and click on Organize and Collaborate using OneNote. So now we're going to go back into the presentation. Does anyone have any questions as far as how to open OneNote in the internet? Is everyone good? Just by a show of hands, thumbs up. All right. I'm going to go back into the presentation. And we're going to start by focusing on the collaboration space. So today you will all be students in my own class notebook, and I have made assignments for you all to complete. Don't worry, they won't take too much time or too much effort. I do have a math page in there, but you are just going to kind of test out some aspects of OneNote. You do not have to solve the math problems. All right, and I love the picture up there. A pair made for productivity. Teams in OneNote work together to provide. I think I even was talking to someone about how Teams could literally be a learning management system. All right, so the collaboration space. This is used to post content to all your students in the class and everyone can respond to it. So that can be a little bit messy. I kind of like the feature where you can group students and actually give them certain permissions. So maybe you create a tab that's group 1 and you only assign 5 students to that group. That means that they can post and respond to each other, but not the whole class. So you and those students would have permissions for that. You can also use this as an area that is editable to all participants. Great. So what, excuse me, what I'm going to do now is create some potential learning activities of ways that you can use the creation space or the collaborative space. Thank you. All right, so the first idea is to use this for presentations. You can create collaborative presentations directly from the page or link a PowerPoint or Sway. Excuse me. The other thing you can do is, as I was saying earlier, you can create groups. That way students, you can post discussion responses, and that's actually what I created for you all today. You can embed Flipgrid, which is a great opportunity for students to use another Office 365 component within OneNote. Post discussion posts, brainstorming, post graphic organizers, and then one feature I really like, and I'll show this once I move over to that screen in a second, is participation. Did anyone know that you can click show authors and actually see what students contributed what? Have you all seen that feature before? So if you have a group that's like, so-and-so didn't, contribute anything to the group, then you're like, okay, well, let me go and click show authors and you can see exactly who contributed. All right, so we're going to move into our first 2 activities after I move over to OneNote. Does anyone have any questions or comments so far? I know I've been talking a lot. No? Okay, we'll move right along then. So now I'm going to go back over and you all can stay on Teams on my shared screen. And I'll let you know when to move on over for your own activities. So again, utilizing this to post presentations, students wouldn't be able to collaborate from the PowerPoint here. They would have to click the link and open the PowerPoint that they have permission to collaborate with other students, edit it, and then that would show up here. So utilizing PowerPoints, and then I did leave the pre-made pages up here. It kind of just discusses the different things that you can do in the collaboration space. And so those of you that I knew were attending today, I already grouped you into groups 1 and 2. What I'll do in a second once you guys get started is I'll be happy to post the Flipgrid direct link to those of you that just joined last minute so that you can contribute to. So the first activity you all will be working on is the graphic organizer. You should be in groups of 5 or 6 on group 1 or group 2. So you'll see that in your own notebook because you guys are students today. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in and create a web of ideas or takeaways around the collaboration space. So what you can do here is I'm going to use the draw feature to model to you all how to use that. So if I wanted to write collaboration space right here, not going to be the neatest because I'm drawing on my laptop. But of course you could put this on your classroom board and it would be a little bit neater. You can also add text box. So I might add text over here as well, collaboration space. And since you all are not actually young students, you are educators yourself, I'll go ahead and give you both of the activities before you get started. So here you're just going to add 1 or 2 takeaways from the different things that I've presented to you. And I'll be happy to put them into the chat box, ways that you can use the collaboration space. And then the discussion. So I actually did not know that Flipgrid was a part of Office 365. It is considered one of Microsoft's products that are embedded in here. So I did make a little Flipgrid. What would you utilize the collaboration space for? So the difference is this one's more of just takeaways. And then the discussion question is more of how would you utilize it with students in the classroom? All right. So you all at this point can go over. I'll stop sharing the screen. And that way I can see all of you. Does anyone have any questions so far? All right, so you all can now go in and jot in your ideas with your teams for the graphic organizer. And then of course you're all on mute. You definitely want to be muted while you complete your Flipgrid. So for those of you that are new, while those that I already had assigned into the teams, I'm going to provide the link. Thank you so much. All right, and I'm over in the chat box for those of you who joined at the last minute. I did send you the link directly to Flipgrid so that you can also share your takeaways. I think what we'll do is maybe we'll work on these for just a couple more minutes. I will present the content library to you all. And then after the meeting or towards the end of the meeting, if you need more time to finish your assignments up, that's what we'll do. And just to kind of touch, if you guys all still have the audio on, just kind of going over some things I talked about, using the collaboration space for presentations, embedding PowerPoints, assigning student groups so that discussions don't go crazy, posting discussions like Flipgrids, and then brainstorming with graphic organizers. All right. At this time, if I could have you all come back to the team screen. I know that might have not been enough time, but I did see some great ideas coming up on the graphic organizers, some takeaways from the collaboration space. So I want to make sure that I can talk on everything that I have found super helpful in OneNote. So I want to go ahead and move on to the content library. So the content library is a space that only you as the teacher can change. So this would be great for posting lecture notes, we'll talk about those activities in a second. But like I said, students cannot alter anything. They can copy the pages that you put up, so they can copy and paste them into their own notebooks, which I'm going to show you how to do, and you all will practice in a second. You can also assess students through the content library by posting forms directly on there. They can complete them embedded in the OneNote page. All right, so here's some different activities, learning activities, and instructional uses of the content library. You could use it as a whiteboard, so you could display the class notebook for instructional purposes, either on your shared screen if you are a virtual teacher, or you could share it on your school electronic board. You can use it for media purposes, posting instructional images, videos, and links that are required. You could post links to required readings and articles. You could post worksheets. Again, students could copy it and paste it in their own so that they are sharing their work and not writing on that collaborative space for their work. And then you could post information such as syllabuses. And my favorite idea, of course, is note taking, using OneNote class notebook to take lecture notes. So these are going to be the two quick little activities that you complete for the content library, but let's go ahead and jump on over to the content library and take a look at what those things look like. Here I was looking at some of the different topics you guys put into your graphic organizer. I love it. Okay, so I did show you that the show authors thing was really neat. I'm about to show you a math concept that's really neat too. I'm wondering if any of you all have used it before because it was something that kind of snuck up on me and I found secretively too. So that would be the math assistant feature. I kind of just have this organized. I put like some fifth grade math standards here, just an idea of how to organize your notebook. I used to teach fifth grade, so I put the orders of operations standards here. And then you can also create sub pages. So this would be like my instructional page. You can embed a video that would play straight from here. We won't watch the video, but I just wanted to show that you can use this for all of instructional purposes. You can teach your lessons from here, show videos, hooks to students. You can post images. They can be manipulated. You can write over them. You can put Excel spreadsheets. I did not put anything. This was kind of just like a test thing. I didn't include anything on the Excel, but you can embed them if you have any instructional reason. I could see this being more helpful for middle school and high school. I am elementary based, so we don't really use Excel sheets too much. Um, and then the math feature. Are there any of you who have noticed the math feature? You can actually create an equation. So if I were going to do, let's say 10 plus 2, we'll just do something really basic. If you highlight it and then you click Math Assistant. So there are a couple things that it'll do here. So it will, well, it normally does. It doesn't put it here. Here, let's try it on the next page. I think I was testing it out down here. Ten plus 2. Let me highlight it and click Math Assistant. And you can turn this on and off because I could see how it would be an issue as well. So you select the action, you can have it evaluate the problem, and you can have this on for students as well. So if you wanted to turn it off because you don't want students to be able to evaluate the problems, you would do so. And then you can also create assessments directly based off of that. It will create a forms for you. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then we'll go from there. So the first thing that we're going to do for our activities is the next component is you can actually embed PDFs or Word documents. You can upload worksheets straight here. So if I wanted a student to complete this, what they would do is they would right click in the content library. They would copy it. And Candace, do you mind if I use yours? Can I post in your class notebook? I'm going to use Candace as the example. So
Sure.
if you wanted to copy it and go into handouts, and I'm going to paste it in her handouts. And now Candace has what was just in the content library, and she can go and manipulate this and solve the problems. All right, so what I am going to have you all do from there is you all are going to practice copying the worksheet to your own student notebook. So I would like for you all to go into Unit 1 and to copy where it says week of 8-7. I just generated a random number, early August, and then you are going to copy it. And just as I did, you're going to paste it into your handouts. So Candace, you are a little bit ahead of the game. Yours is already there. And what I want you all to do once you're in handouts is I want you to practice manipulating them. You do not need to solve all orders of operations. I just want to see you guys kind of working with the draw feature and the text feature. Does anyone have any questions about copying and pasting into their own student notebook? All right. Well, I will give you just a few minutes to try that out. Again, you do not have to answer orders of operations, just test out the different tools that a student could use for completing assignments. Yes, Chelsea, I loved the math assistant. When I saw that you could create just like one problem and it would generate an assessment of however many numbers you wanted to, that was just so crazy to me. It made me think very AI-ish. It completely developed the assessment for you. Right. And then I had just a couple other things to touch on before we moved on to a post-workshop assessment or survey. I did want to show to you all that there is a review student work. So just as I have had you all copy an assignment into your notebook, if I were to have students do that in the classroom, maybe I would want to go and grade those assignments. So what you're going to do is you're going to hop on over to class notebook. You're going to click down to review student work. And then depending on where you ask the students to complete the assessment, you would click on handouts. And then this is going to generate that page for you to grade all of the students' assessment depending on how it's organized. So I thought that was pretty cool too. You don't have to go and dive into every student's individual notebook. You can pull up a certain tab that you want from all of them. And then of course, we were just talking about forms. So under quiz, you can embed forms. So that's a really great way to do a quick little assessment for students. I feel like forms isn't always great for the longer assessments, but if you just have something that's maybe, less than 10 questions and you want them to fill it out directly in that content library, that would be awesome. So that's what I have done here. I have put a post-workshop survey in there, asking you all to assess the workshop. So if you all could go ahead and complete the forms that you find under quizzes. So that kind of assesses you about the workshop too. Can you locate the forms that is under quizzes? And so the questions will just ask, how helpful is the information presented in the workshop? How comfortable are you with using OneNote for instructional purposes, getting away from just using it as a teacher, but using it to foster collaboration and creativity with your students? And then out of the different activities that I spoke about for the collaborative space and the content library, which one of these activities would you promote with other educators or would you utilize for instruction yourself? And as you all are kind of working on the forms for the post-workshop assessment, I would love for you all, if anyone wanted to unmute themselves, and we can kind of, I know we have about 4 minutes left of our designated time today. So maybe if anyone has any comments, any questions for me.
Hey, Elizabeth, I just wanted to say thank you for doing this today. I thought your presentation was very clear, just like Joy said. I mean, you gave some great information on OneNote. It was easy to follow. You modeled very clearly. I was just, taking some notes. I'm like, oh, just even for myself on presentation skills. Um, so yeah, I, very much appreciated it.
Yay, thank you so much, Candace. That means a lot because obviously I'm new to this. I've only ever held one other professional development, and it was with my Georgia Southern colleagues. And I'm envious of you all. I would love to be in your position one day. I would love to be a TTIS. So, I was a little bit nervous. So it's really great to hear those things. Thank you, Candace.
Yeah, absolutely.
To add on to what Candace said too, your ideas were great too. I love how you had a balance of you talking and giving us something to do as well. So I thought it was very well laid out and you did a really great job.
Thank you so much, Joy. Yes, I did have to assess you. That was part of the workshop. So if there were any of the components today, the Flipgrid, the graphic organizer, hopefully you all were able to copy the assignment pretty quickly. And then of course the forums, I'll be using that as assessment data in my professional development assignment. So if you all could please, I'll kind of maybe write something in the Teams to remind you as well. If you all could please make sure to complete those. That would really help me out. And of course, thank you all so, so much for taking time out of your day. Does anyone else have any comments, any questions? No? Sandra, were you about to say something? All right. Thank you. Thank you all. Hopefully I talked about
Elizabeth.
Yes,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm having major technical issues right now. Nothing is working for me. I'm talking through Janelle's computer.
Oh no.
But I just wanted to say this was awesome and thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you.
a treat to get to see you again.
Thank you so much. It was nice to see you as well. And I'm sorry you're having technical difficulties. I'm glad I did not have technical difficulties. Better you than me right now. Sorry.
Of course. Okay, thanks again.
Yes, thank you. All right, well, we can go ahead and end the workshop there. Thank you all. Please complete the activities, and I hope to see you all in the near future. Candace, I, of course, will see you. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Elizabeth. Thank you.